Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes, brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, on Long Island and southwest Suffolk County, serving the entire New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area. And of course, with winter coming, it's a good time to make sure you've got the things you need to make sure that your home is free and clear, or your business is free and clear of snow and ice. They are Long Island's largest rock salt source, and they got people coming from all over the place when rock salt is in short supply. 631-756-1125. They have the best prices anywhere. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. So we're enjoying a nice, though chilly day in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states. In fact, it's cold all the way down the eastern seaboard and all the way back through the Ohio Valley. And we're beginning to see a mass of clouds here back through Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas, Kansas, moving northeastward into that cold air, and that is actually going to produce some snow in parts of the Midwest. We're going to get to that in a moment. Meanwhile, here's the satellite loop from in the east, where we've got lots of sunshine, although it is relatively ineffective as temperatures are having a tough time moving out of the 40s. There's no precipitation really of consequence close by. As we check out the radar, the radars up and down the eastern seaboard are pretty quiet. Even though we have clouds around the Great Lakes, we don't see much in the way of any precipitation there. Down in the south and into Florida, it's also quiet. But then we've got this massive moisture in Texas and Oklahoma on the northern fringe of this. It's cold enough for some snow, and we're going to see snow spreading up into Missouri and Illinois, up towards Chicago, parts of Iowa, as this low in the western Gulf states moves eastward over the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, as far as precipitation is concerned, as we take a look at this system, we're looking at in the colder air, not a whole lot, anywhere from a tenth to maybe as much as a quarter of an inch. You can see that band there from eastern Kansas across this narrow band from eastern Kansas across northern Missouri into west central Illinois, and much of that is going to be in the form of snow. We've got rain, though, from East Texas east into the southeastern part of the United States, a half to three-quarters of an inch, and also down right along the immediate coast where we're looking at an inch and a half or more, up the Appalachians where we could see three-quarters of an inch to an inch, inch and a quarter, and a half to three-quarters of an inch generally for the northern mid-Atlantic and on up into New England. Now, some of this in upstate New York, in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine is going to be in the form of snow, and the Weather Prediction Center, this is the probability of at least 2 inches, and we're seeing a high probability of it. I think I-90 is probably a good dividing line here with regards to where the accumulating snows will be, certainly in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. The southern edge of that 40 to 50% line makes it into the Catskills. And then the percentages drop considerably as you go further south, also in parts of northwestern Pennsylvania. And you can see, by the way, in the Midwest, where we're seeing a high probability of at least 2, back through Wisconsin, eastern Minnesota, all the way down into northeast Missouri and into west central Illinois. The probability of at least 4, of course, is a little more limited, and that is going to be also in an area north of I-90 in northeastern New York State, across northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and northernmost Maine. So the system coming eastward is not a huge deal here. As far as we're concerned in eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England, this is going to be mostly rain. Now here's how the low comes out. I'll show you a couple of models here. We'll go with the NAM, and you see the rain pushing northward. Obviously no problems for the rest of this afternoon and into tonight. And then tomorrow, as the high to the north tries to hold on, if we were probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the road with this setup, I think we probably would have more of a snow situation. But it's just too early for that for the coast, unless it's something really dynamic. But you see the snow that breaks out in western PA and back through Ohio, in northern Pennsylvania, and then further north. Now, the NAM is kind of overdoing it, I think, with respect to sleet. But areas in the say north of Route 84 and north of Route 80 in Pennsylvania might have some snow and sleet for a while before it goes over to rain, but I don't think it amounts to much. And then the low starts to pull away. We'll get that rain along the coast, obviously. That comes in sometime early Tuesday evening. It's out by Wednesday morning. And then it's just going to be cold and mostly dry for the rest of the week. Some lake effect snows will be going on. And you can also see another disturbance in the western lakes that's going to be producing snow late on Thursday. And moving eastward, it's all for us is just going to be a reinforcement of the cold air. I think we're going to have below normal temperatures right into and through the weekend and probably into the start of next week as another high comes down early next week. And then after that, as we approach just a kind of an early look to Thanksgiving, it's hard to say. It looks like the cold pattern may temporarily relax and that we will probably go over to something warmer, but at least for now, in terms of the models, for the middle part of next week, the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic looks dry. You see the rain from the Great Lakes down to the Gulf Coast. That might not come in until maybe late next week. So we've just got this weather system to deal with. The models have kind of shied away from the idea that there's going to be something going on this weekend. But unless it suddenly pops up at the last minute, but it doesn't appear to be the case. The GFS has been dry. The European has been trying to make a case for something, but that model, up until through this morning anyway, has backed away from that possibility. Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125 is the telephone number, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. And just going to leave you, let's put up a snowfall forecast map from this weather system for today. I'm sorry, for Tuesday night and Wednesday. And you can see 3-4 inch amounts in upstate New York and in the Catskills as well. Maybe starting out as some snow and sleet in northern New Jersey. Maybe a coning for an inch or two possible north of Route 80. Back over into Pennsylvania where you see these 1 to 2 inch amounts being generated. Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. So we will see you then.